Hey guys, welcome back. I been debating on whether or not to make a video on this, kind of a progressive type video, and kind of a do-it-yourself type video. And this, I'll show you. I had gotten this wood chipper. Yeah, mind the mess, I know. I got a really tiny shop. This is pretty much it. Plus what's behind me and next to me. But this wood chipper here was given to me this last weekend by an elder in our church that we go to. The First Southern Baptist here in Independence, if you wanted to know. And he had given this to me to go ahead and try to fix up and use. Because he had bought it years ago. Actually, he gave me paperwork for it, and the receipt showed 1991 is whenever he bought this. It's an old Craftsman 5-horse. I don't know if you can see that. It's an old Craftsman 5-horse chipper and shredder. And like I said, he bought it brand freaking new in 91. And it's still got the old style. It still has the old style motor on it. Here, let me fix this a little bit. I'm using my little tripod. I don't use that often. I usually use it for my GoPro, but I don't have my GoPro with me at the moment. But it's an older motor that I usually don't deal with. I usually don't work with. I usually deal with the newer Briggs and Stratton motors. From about 2000 on is about what I usually deal with. And these older ones, there's more to them, a little bit more to them. And well, the issue with this was it wasn't getting any fuel from the tank to the carburetor, and he had to replace this. Here's the carburetor, and he had to replace what was called a fuel pump. A kind of a flimsy rubber with a spring type pump that goes inside this panel right here. And he had replaced that. He had done some other stuff trying to get it up and going again for himself. And he couldn't. He spent a lot of time tearing it apart, trying to clean it out and everything, and just could not get it to go. So I went ahead and tore it apart, cleaned it out, cleaned the carburetor out the best I could. And got it all torn apart here on the bench. I don't know if you can see it real well, but I got it all here. I had terrible lighting today. It's raining out, but I got it all torn apart. And this is the carburetor. I got the throttle and choke assembly and all the other components dealing with it, little bars and bolts and so on. But whenever I took this apart, I didn't think to look into the tank to see if there might be any issues inside there. Because generally with these older steel tanks, and knowing the guy that he usually keeps it inside, I didn't think to look inside to see if there might be any issues within the tank. And come to find out, yesterday I think it was, or it might have been the day before, I took the tank off and looked inside after talking with my dad, because he's had a similar issue with it too, with the same type of deal. And looked into the tank and found an in-tank filter, which I left up there. It's a big old sponge looking thing, and I took that out and I poured out the fuel that I had put in there. And whenever I did, it looked like muddy water. If you guys know what that looks like, you know what I'm talking about. It looked like muddy water. And I knew right away that ain't right, because it ain't supposed to look like that. So that brings you up to date on where I'm at. I went ahead and bought a spark plug for it, an air filter, and what was it called? Air filter and pre-filter for this motor. It does take both, I found out. that this particular motor does take the filter and the pre-filter. And what the pre-filter does, helps keep the even bigger stuff out of the main filter. This little sponge, this kind of a aqua looking sponge behind the main filter, that's the main filter. Oh, that's the pre-filter. The stuff that keeps like grasshoppers and leaves and other things that are not supposed to go through the main filter, keeps it from it. So I got that, and I want to get me a new carburetor, but that's up in the air. So what I'm going to do, this tank still has a bunch of rust and whatnot inside of it, because I actually pulled chunks and flakes of rust out from inside there. So what I want to do is I'm going to fill it up with vinegar and let it soak for a few days, and try to loosen up that rust that's inside the tank, and then let it soak for a few days. I'll probably let it soak until Sunday. Today's Friday, so yeah, I'll probably let it soak till Sunday, and then I'm going to just let it air dry for another several days and go from there. So I'm going to show you how to do that up. I'm going to go ahead and do the spark plug and whatnot while I'm out here. I can't do the air filter because all that stuff's torn apart. So let's get to it. Alright, sat for several days. I'm going to slosh it around and dump it out and see what this thing's showing. Oh yeah, not too terribly good. So I'm going to prop this up out here, side down, kind of, or I'll do it on this side. Right down here, and let it dry out over the next couple of days, and probably end up having to get a new cap. So whenever I was sloshing it around, it just popped right off. So tis what it is. Alright, so the tank and the carburetor are pretty well dried out now, so I'm going to go ahead and put those together back onto the motor and go ahead and give it a shot again today. If not, it almost has to be the carburetor at this point. So if it comes to that point, I'm going to have to take it back apart again and go ahead and get that carburetor replaced. Now I don't know when that's going to be. Money's awfully tight, so it might be a little bit before I can order one. So let's go ahead and get this thing going. Yeah, as you can see, I went ahead and covered these ports up the best I could, because I knew it was going to be several days before I was going to put this all back together, and I didn't want to get crap and whatnot down inside of this, so that's why I did that. I always want to cover them up just in case. And also, this little wire right here, you want to make sure you hook this back up. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but this here you definitely need to get hooked back up. This is the basically the on and off switch that hooks up here and to this little port, and it's the basically the kill switch here, the on and off switch. So you'll want to be sure to hook that back up whenever you put this back together. here I am. I forgot the freaking wire to hook it up. And I even said in the video that I gotta remember to hook it up.
Good job.
Alrighty, I ain't gonna put the filter on yet, but just ready to try to get fired up. If none of this works, I got a crazy idea.
Oh Lord have mercy.
But it's gonna take a little bit to figure it out. And then it's running this off of that. Okay, so I am gonna go and put some fuel in here.
Stop.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I got an issue.
What's that?
I got a leak in the tank. Yep, sure enough. I got a leak in the tank.
Stop.
But I gotta at least check this out though. Yeah, I think the carburetor's shot, so I'll be another $20 or so, $30, whatever it is for the carburetor. And another day, another dime. Alright, so I went ahead and got a new carburetor. I was able to pick it up online. And in the I'd also gotten this hole that was in the tank. I got it sealed off, and it should be all right. I had used JB Weld epoxy and cleaned it up real good and got it sealed off. So we're gonna see how that does. And so I'm gonna go ahead and change out the fuel on the carburetor, and should be set. Okay, so I got a new carburetor on here. I went ahead and finally was able to get a hold of a cap. And also in the process of this all, I found a whole bunch of needle holes inside the tank that was leaking fuel. So I got all that epoxied and repainted on the bottom side. And I went ahead and got a new air filter and everything, and a new spark plug. And I got it all back together now, and want to go ahead and try it out and see what happens. I got her filled up, and it doesn't seem like there's any leaks in the fuel tank as of now. I'm pretty sure I got it all. So let's go ahead and give her a shot. I will. Man, I think it's noisy, but it's running. I'm going to get it put out there, and I want to go ahead and try to run some stuff through it. See what happens. Alright, got you a safe distance away. I'm going to fire this thing back up and see what happens. Alright, so I think what the issue is with it now is the blades inside are dull. You see, this is only about half an inch or so sticks, and this is what it's doing to it. I went through that a little bit bigger stuff for it took a little bit to get through it, but I think that it just needs to be taken apart and let's see what needs to be done with the blades. Like I said, I think they just need to be sharpened up, but that'll be for another video. I want to go ahead and I hope that this helped you out a little. Hope that this might help you out a little bit on trying to figure stuff out. I mean, like I said earlier, you can try to clean out the carburetor. Try to clean it out first and see what that see if that helps, and then just. Then after that, if the carburetor doesn't need cleaned out or rebuilt, you're just going to have to break down and get a new carburetor. And of course, in the process, check everything else out. Spark plugs, filters, I mean the whole 9 yards. See, just go through a list and go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to a video verse and get going. Alright, so this video verse is in 2 Chronicles 7. 12 through 16, and it says, Then the Lord appeared to Solomon at night and said to him, I have heard your prayer and have chosen this place for myself as a temple of sacrifice. If I shut the sky so there is no rain, or if I command the grasshopper to consume the land, or if I send pestilence on my people and my people who bear my name, humble themselves, pray and seek my face, and turn from their evil ways, and I will hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal their land. My eyes will now be open and my ears attentive to prayer from this place. And I have now chosen and consecrated this temple so that my name may be there forever. My eyes and my heart will be there at all times. And that is 2 Chronicles 7:12 through 16. And I'll see you in the next one.